when you reflect on your principles, how many additional animals from today would you prefer are exploited and used for you?
Well, can you repeat the question?
Yeah, like when you think about the future, how many more animals would you prefer are used for you?
Oh,
How,
like you mean like how many different species?
or just how many individuals?
How many individuals? How many do I want specifically?
How many
Well,
do you want exploited for you?
exploited? I don't know. It's a tough
Is it
word.
more than zero for you?
I would say as much to keep me like alive and support me, like my
Right.
diet, however many that would take.
Are you okay with being live on YouTube?
Am I on YouTube?
Yeah, we're live on YouTube. Are you comfortable with that?
Yeah, that's cool with me.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a lot of viewers?
Let's see. I'll tell you right now what our count is.
68 right now.
68 right now.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
All right. So, what's your name?
My name's Shogi.
My name's Cooper. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Cooper.
How do you feel about animals?
I like animals. I got 2 dogs.
You have 2 dogs?
Yeah, my girlfriend has a dog and a cat.
With the time you spend around dogs and cats and taking care of them, what do you learn about the feelings that dogs and cats have?
I don't know. I think my dog gets sad when we're not around, or like when someone leaves.
Yeah, separation anxiety.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. So would you say that's like a form of your dog's suffering, that they maybe are lonely, they don't have...
You mean like would it be an emotional suffering?
Yeah,
I'd say it to a degree, yeah.
yeah. But of course, like we try our best not to leave them for too long, but
No,
and
of
whatnot.
course not.
Yeah, yeah. Do you think an animal like a fish or a pig, do they share the ability with the dog to have feelings and to suffer?
I mean, you can like in like patterns of like socially of animals, you can definitely see that kind of thing. I think to a degree, like, yeah.
Do you think there's anything that as humans in 2026 that we need from fish or pigs or cows? Is there anything we need from them?
I mean, I'd say to like to an extent, yeah. Like, of course we can. Are you talking about like eating or like sustenance?
We could also think about like aquariums too. Like if we could choose to watch a nature documentary where the fish or the animals are free, or we could choose to attend the aquarium where they're trapped in a tank, do you think it's more fair to watch the nature documentary rather than contribute to them being caged in the tank?
I think fairness is a good question about it, but I think to an extent, like those kind of opportunities do create jobs too. Like having those kind of places, like you can't just shut them down, like yet.
Has there ever been an industry that throughout history that you consider which we decided was no longer in line with our principles and therefore we ended it?
An industry?
Yeah.
Yeah, slavery probably.
Right. That's a good example.
Yeah.
It's definitely one we're against, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Do you think a similar principle could be applied where we're saying these animals are being used and confined? At zoos, there's a practice called surplus killing, where if some of the animals aren't seen as profitable, maybe they became old, they're not really sick or dying, but they're seen as less profitable, so they're killed by the zoo. This happens at the Oregon Zoo as well. If you found out that that was happening, would you want to support the zoo?
I wouldn't say I would like to support the zoo's cause. No, I don't. I wouldn't pay to go to a zoo. I think zoos are kind of sad. I don't
Yeah.
go to them myself. I was just like saying that they create jobs.
No, I hear you. Do you think that we have a similar alternative within, for instance, the realm of food? When we go into a grocery store in 2026, do we have other options than using or killing animals?
Yes, I believe we do, but I also think the positives of like eating animals outweigh the negatives because there's a lot of different nutrients that you can find in animals, and of course you can get that from other sources.
Right.
But
Do you think you could get all the nutrients your body needed to thrive from plants only?
I think yes, but I think it would probably be a little bit slightly less accessible and more expensive.
Oh, so you're convinced that it's possible, but you're concerned that it might not be affordable?
Yeah.
Okay, I hear you. If you saw a study, maybe it was flashing across the news screen and it said a plant-only diet could actually be 30% more affordable if you focused on foods like potatoes and grains and lentils and beans and rice and fruits and veg.
Yeah.
If you found out that it was actually going to save money,
If it
would
was
that
gonna
be...
save money, maybe. But I like, of course, I really like eating cows. I think they're yummy, but
You get pleasure when you're eating them.
yes,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I think that if they're killed in a humane way, like I don't really see a huge problem in it.
Do you think that what the cow goes through, does it become more fair from their perspective if we get pleasure from the taking of their life?
Do I think that it's fair that we get pleasure of taking from their life?
Yeah, does getting pleasure, does it justify taking their life, do you think?
I don't think necessarily. I think from a survival standpoint, yeah, and I don't know. I think that
What about here in Vancouver where we have other options and we're not necessarily in that survival situation? Do you think it's fair for us to use animals if we have another option and we know that they suffer?
I think that's a great question. I think that sometimes it's not completely fair to tell everyone to change all at once when it's something that we have been doing since Uber.
It's happened a long time. Yeah.
Yes, it's been happening a long time. So I think that it's not a shift that you can make
Right.
like
We're not going to change the world overnight for sure.
yeah. And
Do you think that if something's happened for a long time, does that make it more fair or justified?
I think that to an extent, because humans do have bias, you have to understand that, and it does make it more socially acceptable.
But does it make it more justified or fair?
Not necessarily, but it's something that you have to live with. If you're like, of course, you can argue with those things, but to an extent, like it's going to be less acceptable.
I wonder,
say.
like, because we can't change everybody walking by. Like, there's animals that enter the slaughterhouse for just about all of us.
Yeah.
But do you think you and I should participate in violence against animals just because everybody else is?
No, I don't think necessarily. Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like there's still like so many different things that you can get from animals, like supplements that you can only find from animals.
Like what? What do you think?
Well, from my experience, I go to the gym a lot and I work out and I'm an athlete and I get protein sources a lot. And a lot of plant protein actually costs more than
Like which ones?
I don't know the brand.
Okay.
Name. Huh? Like pea protein.
Like a pea protein
Yes.
shake?
Yeah.
Is that what you're getting at?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's so much easier to find whey protein too.
So if you saw at the grocery store that you typically go to, there's another shake right next to it. Maybe it's
Right.
similarly priced. Maybe it's $1 more for the 4-pack or whatever. Do you think it's fair to contribute to the animals being used and killed when you could have picked up this other option?
If it's $1, well, okay, I'm a student and my family is in debt. So
Did you hear the point that I was making about Oxford University? They conducted a study on countries like the US, and they found that we could save 30% on our grocery bills if we focus on foods like rice, beans, potatoes, lentils, legumes, fruit, veg, nuts, seeds, grains.
right.
If you found out that that was possible and it was accessible at whatever grocery store you shop at, do you think it
well,
would be justified for you to continue contributing to animals being used?
Not necessarily, but would you say that like you can buy the same plant products if you go on the if you just base yourself off of the Oxford study, right?
Right.
If you were to just buy the groceries from there,
Mhm.
would you be able to get the same protein concentration?
You could get as much as you wanted because
Yeah.
there's vegan bodybuilders, there's vegan Olympic athletes. I don't train, so like I don't go to the gym.
Yeah.
You might see me and be like, yeah, who are you? But like it's not
That's
interesting
fine,
to
I'm
me.
not-
I just like to go on hikes and stuff. So that's
Hikes
more
is
my.
awesome, yeah.
But if you found out that it was possible for your body to thrive as an athlete, but you didn't need to use animals, do you think it would be in alignment with your principles?
That's a hard question.
What do you think? If you didn't need to use them and cause them to be used and killed, if you had another option and it allowed your body to thrive, what would stop you, do you think?
What would stop me?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the only thing would be accessibility and taste. Like honestly, like I get the point. Like
So if it was at your grocery store and you figured out, maybe you watched some YouTube videos and you figured out, oh, these recipes, they're suited to my my palate and I find them tasty. Would there be any other obstacles other than just like some education about finding like foods that taste good to you?
I don't think necessarily. No, I think that I could switch to a mostly plant-based diet if like I don't know if it was more accessible. But I I already have so many recipes and I'm used to
Yeah.
eating a certain way and
It's a
it fits
habit,
my
right?
lifestyle. Yeah. And
Do you think it's fair for us to continue using animals as objects if it's just a habit? Or do you think that we should try to expand as a people and evolve away from seeing them as objects?
I think that. Oh, that's a hard question. I don't know. I feel like it depends on the culture, society. Like, I think in a country like this, maybe that would make sense, yeah, but in smaller countries, probably not. Like, farms make a lot of money for people.
Right, there might be some situations where people are like really trying to survive.
Yeah.
But here in Portland or the Vancouver area,
Right.
we have another option, we have another choice. I want to ask you, because we talk a lot about in our society about veganism, but what have you heard about it or how would you define it?
I don't know. How would I describe veganism? It's
Yeah.
like itself. Like the pursuit of like as you're saying, not causing harm to animals.
Yeah, that's really close, and that's definitely a big part of it. We define it precisely as a principle against using other animals when we have that option. I wonder, as somebody who knows the animals suffer, maybe you're reflecting now that you have another option. Do you think it's fair for another animal to enter a slaughterhouse for you if they don't need to?
I don't think that would be fair, but like the reality of the day, like today, right, is that's gonna happen. Like me, like let's say if like half the world's population was doing that, like it would be a lot more convincing. And I know like there's an argument like you could be
Yeah,
a
there's
part of
millions of vegans,
yeah,
right,
there's
across the
millions
globe.
of vegans.
Yeah.
There's
Would
so
it be
many.
more in alignment with your ethics to join the folks who are opposing that violence?
I would say, yeah, as a person I'm very inconfrontational, and like I don't know, like I probably wouldn't do it. Like I don't know. That's a great question.
I want to ask just like a couple more questions and we can wrap it up. When you reflect on your principles, how many additional animals from today would you prefer are exploited and used for you?
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, like when you think about the future, how many more animals would you prefer are used for you?
Oh, like you mean like how many different species?
Or just how many individuals?
How many individuals? How many do I want specifically?
How many do you want exploited for you?
Exploited? I don't know. It's a tough word.
Is it more than 0 for you?
I would say as much to keep me like alive and support me, like my
Right.
diet, however many that would take.
Right. Would you be willing to take a resource card that shows the possibility of getting your body everything it needs to thrive on
Yeah,
plants?
I mean totally.
Just because
I
knowledge
like
is
to be
power.
educated about
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
I really appreciate your time. I'm going to give you that card.
Yeah. What do you think, Xavier?
Hey, do you want to share? Do you have any thoughts you want to share?
I mean, I think that, I mean, there's like other animals, right? You
Right.
take like a bear,
Right.
right?
Huh?
Are we gonna hold them to the same moral principle? Like, I don't know.
Right. The bear doesn't have like the grocery store or the farmer's market like we do. So they're in that like really tough survival situation. So we don't have a moral judgment for them. We don't try to hold them to the same standard as we do when we can just pick something else up.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see what I'm saying?
I was gonna say, I think for me, I have nothing against other people being vegan and whatnot, but I think that there's a lot of things like there are certain amino acids you can't get from plants.
Like which ones?
So I don't know the exact ones, but I know that
Okay,
the
well,
quality
yeah,
of
we've
protein you
the
can get.
evidence that we have here is showing that you can get all the amino acids that your body needs to thrive just from plants. If you have any evidence, we would like to see it because honestly, we'd be like, we're missing out because we
Well, I would-
genuinely care.
If I had studies on hand, I would absolutely show that to you. But
Do you think that evidence exists that there's some amino acid that's only in animal flesh?
I would say it's only, but it's definitely easier to obtain. And
Do you
the
think it's
other
possible to
resources-
get all of your nutrients, all of your amino acids at their proper levels on a plant-only diet?
Yeah,
It's
but
possible, but it would be far more difficult. Like, I mean, it probably
Yeah,
wouldn't be helpful.
something to keep
Yeah,
in mind for
because
me is like I don't watch what I eat that closely, but what I've done is I've gone to the doctor every year for the past 5 years and had them check my blood since I decided to eat plant-based. And they've just told me just keep up what you're doing. Like your calcium, your protein, every single thing is right in the middle of the range where it's supposed to be. If you found out that that was possible and it was just you don't even have to watch what you're eating, you just kind of make the swaps in the grocery store and you're able to have your body nourished, would it be fair to continue using them if you didn't need to?
I think for me, maybe it's because I think maybe I just don't really hold. I don't know how I want to put it. Like plants, you can get that is true.
There's bodybuilders, Olympic athletes, they're getting more than what they need. They're thriving, right?
Right, but I think that for the general public, that's not necessarily the easiest way or a very simple way.
They could get it at the grocery store. What could be easier than that, do you think?
Well,
They
I
could
think
find everything at the grocery store.
I'd say it's pretty expensive. I mean,
What, do you have evidence for that?
we could go to the grocery store and
I would show you how inexpensive tofu is in cans of beans and bags of rice and other grains and fruit veg. I would show you that it's more affordable, that we could save, according to Oxford University, up to 30%. I do appreciate your time, but I do see that we've kind of like spun around to this question. We've talked about it before. Would you be open to taking a card just to ponder this in the future?
Sure.
I really appreciate both of your time.
I think I do have one more question actually. What do you say what about the people who are allergic to some of those like options that it would be more expensive or harder to obtain things? What if like the actual cheapest source is through like meat?
Yeah, if somebody is in a situation of necessity, right? They literally they're allergic to everything else. These people are maybe like 1 in 50 million or something. Like they don't. It can be kind of like distracting to talk about them. But if they were in that situation and they needed to, it becomes hard to judge them or hold them to the
Yeah.
same standard. Much like the lion or the bear needed to, this person would need to. We're talking about violence that's needless. And we're asking, is it fair for us to violate animals if we don't need to?
Yeah, that's a good argument. Yeah, I don't know. I was just asking the question because, like, it is definitely interesting to think about like why other animals it is justified because they're like carnivorous. Their brain is wired that way.
Do you think there's like a difference between like a dog and say a pig that makes it okay to do what we do to pigs, but not okay to do that to a dog?
I think it's because we grow an emotional connection to a dog. I mean, I personally wouldn't kill a dog because, I have a dog, I care about it, and I can totally understand other people having that issue.
Do you think that pigs have also that personality, that ability to be an individual and make preferences and enjoy certain toys and make relationships with certain humans and certain pigs? Do you think they're the same in that way?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I mean, I think it's just because for a very, very long time, right? That was, pigs, cows, chickens. That's really like one of the only sources we could get to get protein.
Right.
And
that makes it a little bit harder to change because it's like an ingrained habit, right?
Yeah.
But as we talked about, and again, we've talked about this one before, but just because something has happened for a really long time, that doesn't necessarily make it more justifiable or fair from the animal's perspective.
Yeah.
If we have another choice today. I really appreciate both of you being so curious and open-minded. I would love to leave it here with you and wish y'all like an amazing day. Do you have any other final thoughts?
I don't think so. I think I'm good.
yeah, I think I'm good as well.
Okay. Thank you for
you.
being
Have a great
open-minded.
day.
Yep. I hope both of you have great days.
Yeah, you too.
You too.
Bye.